All right. All right. Well, hey there, beautiful people. Welcome back to Save Our Sisters Unplugged, the podcast where we empower, inspire, and share stories to remind you that you are never alone in this journey of life. If you haven't already subscribed to the Save Our Sisters SOS YouTube channel or the podcast platform you listen to us on, what are you waiting for? Get subscribed, child, so you never miss a new episode and when I go live. Today's guest is an amazing woman, and I cannot wait to dig into this interview since we have so much in common. So, Diandra Ford Wing is a visionary sales director and storyteller whose journey through grief shaped her passion for writing. After the sudden loss of her mother, she courageously paused her career to heal, a journey that inspired her debut memoir, Redbird, which is a heartfelt exploration of loss and resilience. As an army brat with a childhood marked by adventure, including time in Germany, Diandra brings a rich cultural depth to her storytelling. When she's not connecting with clients or crafting compelling narratives, she enjoys life with her hubs, Ben and their two doodles, Coco and Susa. Through her writing, she hopes to inspire others to navigate loss and self discovery, proving that storytelling can be a powerful path to healing. Welcome, Diandra.
Well, thank you for that warm introduction. Nice. I feel like I'm on a stage right now.
You are on the stage.
Amazing. How are you today?
I am great. I am great. I was really highly anticipating this. I love the book. I have it right here.
Yay!
First of all, let's talk about this cover.
Yes,
This
let's talk
this
about it.
this looks like the cover of a liberated woman.
Yes.
First of all, red's my favorite color.
Okay.
And I just love that she just has her head back. Like she is like, I'm doing it. I'm
Yes,
free.
I'm free.
So
Yeah.
what was the inspiration for that cover?
Well, I knew that I wanted to have a woman on the cover, and not only that, a Black woman on the cover, just because it's representative of who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and her being able to be unbound by anything, and the freeness that she is displaying is because I wanted it to feel like she was taking off, like taking flight, as the Redbird would.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that. I love that concept.
me
And
too.
a lot of people, they don't put that much thought into their cover.
Oh my God. This was like the most important thing because this is what sells your book. People don't just pick up a book and say, "Oh, I can't wait to get into what the meat and potatoes is inside the book." They want to see something that draws them in. And I thought that cover would. So that's what I
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, I love it. It's well thought out, and I even love the font that you use for Redbird. It,
Yeah,
I don't.
thank you.
I look at everything. I'm a Gemini. I'm into the details.
Hey, I'm not knocking you.
So you opened the book with Aunt Shawn. What kind
Yes.
of an auntie was she to you? Was she one of those type of aunties that would gather you when you need gathered, or she would one as
Yeah, she was definitely, I would call the fun one. Like she was the
Okay,
baby of all of the sisters and brothers, and she just exuded life. Like she just wanted to embrace everything about this world. And I think that that was the catalyst for her moving to the Gambia in the first place because she really
yeah,
wanted to live. She wanted to absorb everything and everyone around her. She was just, I kind of liken her to like a warm blanket. She would make you
mm,
feel like she cared, which she did, but it was much more than that. She didn't just act a certain way. She was this giving, loving person, and yeah, she was very important to us and to me.
yeah. She sounded like a great auntie. She sounds like she was
She
just
was a great
really
aunt.
present and there for you, very supportive of your
Yeah.
mother. They were like
Yes.
two peas in a
Very
pod. What
supportive.
did what kind
Yes.
of sisterhood would you think they had?
I think that they had one of those like kiki, funny, ha ha ha, like sisterhood, but they could get deep. They could get really deep and they would have long conversations and just talk about this thing called life. And
Yeah.
I just I respected her, and I still respect her even though she's passed on. She instilled in me a desire to be whatever it is I wanted to be and do all the things. Just do whatever I wanted to do because that's how she lived her life, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Yeah.
I mean, just running off to the Gambia, I mean, that's not next door. You know, that's
No.
that's in West
Yes.
Africa, you
That
know.
that's a
And
big move, and, like, she literally sold everything that she owned, even her car, and she got as far away from Georgia as she could possibly get.
wow.
Yeah.
Now, was it just to fuel her own spirit, or was it just, I mean, was the boyfriend the catalyst for the move, or did she really want to go there and she met him after?
Mm,
I couldn't remember if that's how
these
the sequence.
these are things yeah, these are things that we don't know. Like, it's never been confirmed.
Mm.
Like, her moving over to the Gambia, the way that she described it to, like, my mom and to my sisters and I, my brother, was that she wanted to go. The ancestors were calling her to go to the
Mm.
Gambia. And we soon discovered that while there, she had met this guy. And we don't know if they were talking prior to her moving. My thought is yes, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because you don't
Yeah.
go to a different country, um, pseudo fall in love with someone, some stranger, and then next thing you know, they're getting married. And it was a whirlwind. It really was.
Yeah. It sounds like it was a whirlwind. I mean, it sounds really exciting. You know, it sounds like something
Yeah.
I would do. I mean, I think I did that. Well, that's how I ended up in Illinois. So I am all
Oh,
about her spirit.
yes,
Yeah. I
yes.
I
She
packed
would
up
just
with two kids and I moved.
oh gosh. Well, that's
Yeah,
exciting.
but I moved because there was an ex-husband. So, you know, there was a person prior to, but
Of
I just
course.
packed up and left. So I definitely love the spontaneity that she had. She seems to
Yeah.
like have had this carefree attitude about her. And, you know, she wanted to just go over there and set up shop. Like she had big goals.
She did. Oh my God. She was going to open up a store for women in
Mm-hmm.
the Gambia. She already picked the name, and then I drew um, the logo for it was called Kentis College Cottage. And she was going to be just providing wellness, like essential oils and things like that in this store. So she really wanted to do great things for the community in the Gambia, especially the
That's
women.
great. Yeah, that's great because I think some women really need that. And sometimes you need an outside perspective.
You
Now,
do.
her going over there by herself, you know, and then now you guys have heard about this whirlwind romance. I'm sure you guys were side-eyeing this guy. You know, what did
Okay.
everyone think about that?
It was a weird time, honestly. Like my mom, she was the one that told me that Sean was going to get married and she had met some guy, blah, blah, blah. And my mom's first thought was, okay, well, she probably knew this guy while she was in Georgia and didn't want to say
Hmm.
anything, or maybe he's the reason why she moved there. But we have so many unanswered questions, and I don't want to speak ill of anybody. So I just don't know. So many questions that are left unanswered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what you can about that 5 a.m. call from Auntie's fiance.
Yeah. So my mom answered the phone. Yes, it was 5 a.m. And he said, Sandra, that's my mom's name, Sandra, Audrey's gone. And she was like, gone where? To the store or something? Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, no, no, she's no longer with us. She's gone. And my mom
Mm.
lost it, and she ended up calling my older sister who lived very close to her. So Lincia, my older sister, is the one that called me like around 5:30 or something like that. It was still dark out, and I answered and I'm like, what's wrong? And she was crying, and I'm like, oh my God. Immediately I thought something had happened to my mom. That's what I
Right.
thought. But she was
Right.
like, Sean is dead. And I'm like, what are you how do you know? Like, what is going on? And so she had relayed the information about the boyfriend calling my mom and saying that she was gone and that they had taken her to the local hospital in Banjul, the capital of the Gambia.
Hmm.
And there they pronounced her dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you.
I know
Thank you.
that was must have been a hard blow because her going over there by herself is already enough to process, and then
Yes.
to find out now she's got a boyfriend, and now you're like, okay, wait a minute, and then now again, here we are getting this call at 5 a.m. that
Yeah.
she's gone.
Yeah. It was a lot to process. And all I know, I remember just like getting in my car, and my mom lives about an hour and a half away from me. And it was, breaking dawn at that point. So I was just driving along like this back road to my mom's town. And I see a red bird like just fly across, my windshield. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I felt like it took my breath away, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt that it could have been Sean just letting me know that she's okay and she made it to the other side.
That's very profound.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
very profound. Did you guys have any communication with him after that time?
we did. But the thing is that it seemed like he was making a case for trying to come to America.
Really?
I Yes.
Was he trying to accompany her body or something?
Girl, I don't know. So my mom at that point had then realized that this guy, something about him
A little sus?
wasn't a little sus. So, I mean, yeah, he called my mom frequently, and finally she told him to stop calling her. Like,
Hmm.
leave me alone. And he had like this one of his cousins or his sisters call, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
what are you doing? Why
What
are
are you
you
trying to
calling?
do? Like, why are you calling? Like, we don't know you from Adam. We don't know you. So
Yeah.
it was really tough. It was just it was a lot going on.
What was he
Not,
saying in these calls?
just like, oh, I love Audrey, because her real name's Audrey. I
Mhm.
love Audrey and I want to be I'm family now or something like that. And I'm like, no,
Family technically meet each other
okay.
and they know each other.
No, honey, we don't know you. But yeah, it was a time, let me just tell you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
it is. It is.
And so now it comes time to try and get her back to the US, and you reached
Yeah.
out to that agency.
Yeah, they were based out of Miami, and the guy was really, really helpful. He explained the entire process, and then he was like, "It'll be upwards between like 25 to $50,000 to get her body back here." And at that time, I was just like,
Say
like
what now?
what?" And so
What
we
you
ended
talking
up
about,
having,
Willis?
no, we ended up having a family Zoom call. And I let them know like everything. I broke down the pricing and said, do we want to do this? Because it's a
Yeah,
huge investment just to get her body back here, when really and truly all she wanted was to
was to
get
be
away
there.
and
Yeah.
get and be in the Gambia. So we made the difficult decision to have her buried there. And my contact from the US embassy there, he showed up to her burial. And I thought that that was nice. He took pictures. Her grave was under this beautiful tree. She loved nature and she loved
Mhm.
walking on the beach. And I thought that that was really, really nice of them to do that.
That was nice of him to do
Yeah,
that,
very
and
nice.
then to attend the funeral as well. I
Yeah,
didn't
he
know that they
did.
would even do that.
I didn't think he would, but he told me he was gonna go, and I'm like, "Yeah, right, Connor." His name's Connor, and he was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm gonna go to make sure that I don't see anything fishy going on or what have you. I want her to rest peacefully." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Thank you." But he said that there were a couple of people that showed up from the village, and I still don't know who those people are. Like, I
Mm,
really don't know.
that's
Yeah,
very interesting.
It is. It
Maybe
is.
they're just mourners. They just show up at funerals.
Maybe people do that. Like
Yeah.
it's
I think
fine.
it's weird, but I wouldn't do it.
I would never. But
Never, ever.
never ever. But no, I just really appreciated the one-to-one kind of communication that the US
Mm-hmm.
Embassy over in the Gambia and I had. Once I finally got a hold of them, it took a bunch of calling and numbers, endless numbers that didn't go anywhere. And then when I found Connor, I was like, I am keeping you. Like, you are
Yeah.
mine. Like, you're going to be hearing from me like every other day, if not every day.
Yeah. Because
But
whether it's your job to do
yeah,
something or not, I'm calling you to find out.
exactly. And so he was receptive to that. And he really gave me the space that I needed to ask the questions, to get the things that I needed to get done.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that was good. And I'm happy that the US Embassy was able to help out in that
Me
way.
too. Me too. I was very
So
thankful.
I was reading along, and then, you saw the viewing via video.
WhatsApp. Mm-hmm.
What was that like? How do you even
Oh, I
prepare
know.
for something like that?
I didn't. My mom had been visiting me that weekend. It was like a Saturday. We were just lounging around. We were in the living room of my house, and I get the WhatsApp call from the
Mm-hmm.
Gambia. And so I was like, Mom, I think this is the coroner calling me. So she was like, take it in your room. And I'm like, okay. So I go to the master and I'm like, do you want to come in here with me to see? And she was like, no, no. She
She couldn't
refused.
handle it.
She could not. But when I got the video, the guy was like, okay, are you ready? And I'm like, okay, what are you going to show me? And he was like, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to pan up and down her body so you can identify her face. And I'm like, okay. So I just waited around and she was in a body bag. He had unzipped it and went from the bottom of her feet up to her head. And when he got to her face, I knew it was her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no question, no question. And that video still haunts me. Like, just the image of seeing her. She looked so peaceful though. There wasn't a grimace on her face. She wasn't, you know, she didn't seem like she was in any pain. And that's what
That's
I
good.
I really that gave me comfort. And I told my mom that. I'm like, it's her, Mom, and she looked really peaceful, is what I told
That's
her.
good. That's
Yeah.
good because had that not looked like that, like if she looked like her body looked like it wasn't distressed, that would really make the process even harder to really go
Yeah,
through.
because then I would want to know answers. I'd want to know, why does she look like she's like grimacing? What is happening here? What happened to her right before she died? But yeah, like I said, she looked peaceful, and that gave me comfort. Yeah.
So then there was the video
Yeah.
that your mom received.
Yeah.
You know, after someone dies, you have your own questions about it, but then you have this video that surfaces, then
Yeah.
that kind of validates your thoughts.
Yeah. This woman had been making the rounds on YouTube, and she was talking about the mysterious deaths of Black American women over in the Gambia. And she made the video, then she died. She mentioned my aunt by name and that she had died. And there were at least separately like 6 different women that she mentioned in her YouTube video.
Mm,
And my mom, I don't know how it got to her, but she ended up sending it to us the day before she died.
wow.
And I was just like, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do? So all I did was I emailed Connor at the embassy and I was like, have you seen this? I sent him a link to the YouTube video. And that's when he kind of wrote like stock form email back to me. It was like, yes, I realized that there are the tragic deaths of some Black American women in the Gambia. But you have to understand that we are a poor nation, and we don't have the infrastructure to kind of speak to this. Like, we don't know what to do with this information. So
Hmm.
it kind of just like we left it there. And I asked my mom if she wanted to pursue anything. We had already hired an attorney who wasn't doing a damn thing. So it was just like, she was like, nah, mm-mm, just leave it be. But
Are
now
you
that she's
satisfied with his
gone,
answer?
I'm not. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know. It's still a question hanging in the air of what we're going to do about this, if anything.
Wow. That
Yeah.
must have been so hard because
Oh,
here he was helpful in the beginning, showing up to the
mhm.
funeral, and then now that you have this suspicious video, now you feel like you're being stonewalled and you're just given the little crafted,
Yeah.
answer.
That's what it felt like. It's like he got it from like Chat GPT or something. I have no idea. But it was so random. And I'm like, okay, well, I know that he kind of cannot help because he doesn't seem willing to. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
Or
it
maybe
just,
his hands were tied as well.
and I think that may be it. That's
Hmm.
100% probably the answer. But it's just hard to wrap your mind around that you don't have a leg to stand on in any way to get answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really horrible because you want answers. And
Right.
especially when your loved one dies abroad and there's no one else that can say anything. It's not like you can call like, Joe down the street and say, "Hey Joe, did you see what happened? Did you hear through the
Yeah.
grapevine what happened?" Because in America, you would definitely know what happened. Somebody done seen something.
Okay. Yes.
So now you have to take the words of strangers and it's
Mhm.
like, do I pursue or do I just leave it alone? Because
Yeah.
you want to start your healing process, but you also want justice for Auntie.
Yes, I do. I do. And I really need to think long and hard about a game plan if we're going to attack this the way that we probably should. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't know where to start. And it's just, we went down that rabbit hole before, like right after her death, but it's just, it's just not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine what
Yeah.
it's like. And so mom is really missing her sister at this point.
Yeah. She never got over it.
And then you stepped in and then you
Mhm.
started helping her to write her story as a form of
Yeah.
therapy to help her get through the grief. I thought that was so amazing.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was looking at a commercial one day and this commercial for Storyworth popped up. And it's the company that I use to do her basically her memoir. It just has all of the stories. We ask pointed questions every single week. She gets a question a week and she answers it and it becomes the book. So we were doing that for about a year, if not even close to a year, but we were 3 questions away from her finishing the book. But
Mm-hmm.
and then, she subsequently passed, but
Mm-hmm.
um I still went and printed it anyway. I edited what we had and then I gave copies to my siblings.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry for your loss of your mother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Although I've recently lost my mom as well, I
I'm
could
sorry.
never know your pain. Everyone's journey is so different,
Yes.
because the relationships that you've had is so different. And like I said before, you and I have so much in common with this whole story.
Yeah.
With the book was a trigger for me. I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
I
Yeah,
was
I
like, I
understand.
need a drink. Let me
Yeah,
stop. Let
or
me
several.
reset. Come back.
No, I feel you. I definitely I didn't want to sugarcoat anything or and I didn't want to tell the story other than what the story was.
Yeah.
I had it was to me, writing that book felt like a really long journal entry. And it's
Yeah.
like a love letter to my mom and to my aunt. Like it really helped me. It really did. Because I don't even know if I recognize that I don't have my mom here anymore. I am living in a space where there's denial and then there's grief.
Mm-hmm.
And never the two should meet. I don't even know. I have no idea why I can't really grieve the way that I want to. I want to cry. I want to wallow in it. But I know that my mom would not want that. Like my twin sister, she cries every single day without fail. And it could be something positive or something reminding her of my mom, and she'll start crying. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. I wish
I'm
I
with
could.
you, sister. I'm with you, sister.
Yeah.
There are times where you can just be okay, and
Yeah.
then something would just hit you the wrong
Right.
way, and you
Hmm.
just be in tears, and you'd be like, "Oh shoot, that
Yeah.
really hit me."
And I haven't had that breakthrough moment. I don't think I will. Um,
You might.
I don't know. Because if it
Well,
hasn't
here's the
happened,
thing. Here's the thing with grief. It has everyone's address.
okay.
It's like Jesus. He never comes when you want it, but it'll show up right on time.
He's
And
always
it'll
on.
show up at a moment where you just really need to just release.
Yeah. I'm waiting for
So,
that moment. Like I just
yeah.
during the entire funeral or memorial service, I didn't cry. I eulogized my mom. I delivered the eulogy. Everything was,
Hmm.
I didn't quiver. I didn't shake. I just spoke authentically about my mom and who she was as a woman, as a teacher, as a mother. She was just definitively all of these great things. And I just wanted that to come across in my tribute to her. And I really
Yeah.
hope that it landed. I hope that my mom was looking down and saying, that's my child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really want that more than life itself.
So here's the thing. I don't want you to suppress your grief or feel like I don't want to do that because mom wouldn't want me to do that. Mom
I know.
also wouldn't want you to hold it in.
No, she
She would
wouldn't.
want you to be free.
Yeah.
So think about that, and just
Yeah.
give yourself some time.
And give myself some grace because
I was just about to say that.
not everybody handles grief the same way.
No.
Where my sister, my twin, she's full of emotions. She's just an emotional being. And
Hmm.
my older sister is more like me, where we're just like, okay, we'll get through this and we'll try to move
Hmm.
on. And my brother, he's been emotional, but not terribly so. So I think that Dion, my twin, is just a different person than us. But
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. But,
Yeah. Well,
I
that's okay too.
yeah, I worry about my older sister, Lyncia, because she's the one that found her. And I don't know what that did to her. I don't know what that did. She found my mom, and I just don't
You
know how
can't
she's.
unsee some things.
I know. I know. And
You
so I
you
worry
can't
about,
unsee some things. You can't. And
yeah.
so she'll have to process that on her own or with a therapist.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
So
I mean,
let's
I
talk
can't.
about the Eddie of it all. Eddie, Eddie, Eddie.
Ah, not Eddie.
Eddie, Eddie, Eddie.
Mm,
Where do we begin?
yeah.
Child, when I was reading that, I was like, really, Eddie? You really trying to come to the funeral with your wife
Right?
who subsequently helped you ruin your marriage? And
Right?
then I was like, really, wifey? You're really picking a dress? Like, you're really on board to come to this thing? As if you're going to be welcome with, like, what are people thinking? Why are people so
I,
entitled?
I don't know. And then come to find out,
Oh,
the wife didn't even really want to come. He was forcing the issue. So it wasn't an issue.
mm.
He made it one for no apparent reason. Like,
So,
I just remember talking to him being like, are you for real? Like, am I getting punked right now? Like, seriously. That's how I felt. And I'm just like, why? I said, Eddie, we already have enough going on right now without you adding fuel to the freaking fire. Like,
yeah,
chill out. Chill out.
yeah.
But
You
yeah,
know,
it was,
people say people act up, weddings and funerals bring out the worst in people.
amen.
It
Yes,
really does. Oh
they
my
really
God.
do. Yeah, it's crazy. Truer words were never spoken. I swear to God. It just, I didn't think that it was going to be a big deal. And then, I talked about her sisters. them not showing up for her. Just one of them came to the service,
Yeah.
and one of them was in town and decided not to come because she said that she didn't want us, the children, to look at her sideways. But that's your whole ass sister.
Right, because who's gonna say you can't come to your sister's funeral?
Nobody
Whatever
said
happens on the mommy level and the auntie level stays on the auntie level. You guys aren't gonna bring that
that.
into the cousin space.
I
You
know my
know,
name's in it. I ain't in it. Like, I just don't want to know anything about it. That's what my thought was with their kind of relationship. Like, my mom had already like just pretty much cut them off right
hmm
before she died, like a couple years before she died. And I just felt like it was just a big, huge slight. Like, it really rubbed me the wrong way. And
yeah,
I'm still not over it. And then me and my cousin get into it. It was a mess. It was a mess. It
it
really
it
was.
sounds like a
It
mess.
didn't need to
Very
be. It
messy.
didn't need to be because it was about my mom and only about my mom, you know?
Exactly, and everyone was trying to make her funeral all about them.
Yep. Yep. Eddie did it. The sisters did it. My cousin did it. It's just like, are y'all for real? Like, it was
Mm.
so out of left field. I'm just like, nothing shocks me anymore about family, to be honest with you. Nothing shocks me. This was a
We
learning.
talked off script, so I'm not shocked.
Okay.
I am not shocked at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So I loved the mystery shadow box.
Yeah.
That came right on time, just like
It did.
Jesus.
It came the day after she died. And I still don't know who gave it to me, who sent it.
Really?
I still don't know. It's a mystery. I really do. I've asked all of my friends. I've asked past coworkers. They were like, no, we didn't send anything.
Wow.
And the note, the expression of what they were trying to get across and basically offering their sympathy, it was just so right on time. Everything I needed to see, hear, read, what have you. It struck a nerve, and it bothers me that I still don't know who sent that beautiful gift. It's a
I wonder if it
beautiful.
was that auntie that decided not to come.
No. Mm-mm.
No?
Nope. 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 Nope.
Wow.
Nope. I know it's not. That's just
I'm
not her
all
story.
speculating.
I know. We're speculating.
I'm all speculating. I love a good mystery. I
Okay.
love a good mystery, and I love that it showed up on time. I just love that for you because,
Yeah.
the moments after a funeral can be so dark and lonely. And to have
Yeah.
that show up right when you're in your moment, I love
Yeah.
that for you.
And I love it for me too, but I just wish I knew who sent it. That's the
Yeah.
thing that gives me pause, but that's okay. It, it's
Yeah.
it, it's the gift that matters. Doesn't matter who it came from. It just was right on time.
Yeah. It was. It was definitely right on time. And that could transcend towards, your siblings as well.
Yeah.
It could heal everybody.
Yeah. It was a beautiful service, and I'm I'm so glad that we pulled it off within a matter of days. I kid you not. Like, we didn't waste any time like getting her memorial together. Like, she died on, oh God, was it a Thursday? I don't even know what day it was. But we were already planning. We had met with the funeral home the very next day. Like, we were not playing around.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my mom, she always said something about like she hated it when people would like leave the body out too long before the before the funeral.
And then they look
Like,
weird and different.
you know,
You're like, that's not
she
him.
was
Is
just
that
like
him?
she was like, don't do that. Just put me. She said, cremate me. Like, I don't
Ooh.
need all the pomp and circumstance. So we honored her wishes, and she had everything written out for us so we could like have like a little syllabus to look at and figure out, okay, this is what we're doing for this because mom said, like, she was really
Organized.
on it. Very
Mom sounds like a
organized.
Gemini.
Very organized. No, she's an Aquarius. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. but
Yeah.
it's something that I would do.
Yeah. It's something
I would
I would
have a
do.
letter written out and said,
Yeah.
listen, I'm not trying to, have the takeover spirit. I'm hoping that you would be weeping. And here is what I'm trying to gift you so that you don't have to go through it. So I've done all these things myself. This is
Yeah.
what I would like, you know, so
Yeah.
and so is notified. And I think people that do that, yeah. Yeah, and break out the brown liquor and have snacks at
Ah,
the.
the brown liquor.
Well, I mean, just a sip, like a shot, because people are going to need it.
Oh my God. That is so funny. Brown liquor. Wow. You really took it there. Okay.
I did. Although for me it'd probably be rum, Island
Ooh,
Gallinal.
I do like rum. Rum is good.
Yeah, because you went to Puerto Rico, so I know you had
I
rum.
I sure did.
So you guys were no short of family drama,
No.
with the aunties, having their thing, and then your aunt Patrice doing her thing. And did anyone report her for elder abuse at any time?
Dog. I wish that we did. And if anybody was going to do it, it would be my Aunt Sean because she was witnessing firsthand the abuse.
Mm,
And I just remember when she decided to take over power of attorney for my granddad.
hmm
Um, that that was a pivotal moment because at that time she was just saying no more. You are not going to steal from this man any more than you already have. Basically, he had nothing after all was
Yeah.
said and done. It just frost my cookies every single time.
Frost your cookies.
Yes, they're baked and frosted. It really just takes me over the edge when I
Yeah.
think about it. But
The
you
audacity
know,
of it all.
the audacity of it all, yes, that's the thing. And then the other thing is just like, how do you live with yourself? How do you even begin to put what do you call this other than elder abuse? What do you
Yeah.
call taking his money other than being exploitive? And what is
Evil.
that? Evil,
Evil.
pure.
Evil.
And I just from that moment on, I was just like, nope, don't need that. Nope, don't need
Yeah.
that family in my life. Don't need it.
Do you think
Because
she was trying to get revenge for like past
yes,
hurts or anything? Mm,
it made her feel good to do it. That's what I think. I think that she just figured, okay, well, he wasn't a very good father anyway. So let's go ahead and steal his money. Why
yeah.
not? Let's do it
Yeah.
for freaking giggles. Let's do it. Because what on earth would possess a person to do that? Just someone that gave them life. Like that
Yeah.
is whew, girl.
I mean, I understand that parents don't parent the way they should, but people parent to their strength. People
Yes.
parent to the example that was set. And parenting is not easy. No
No.
one is without fault. Anyone that has children, I guarantee you, that child, or if you have multiple children, at least one of those children are going to call you to the carpet about something that you should have handled differently.
Yeah.
And listen, and all you have to do is just, validate their feelings and apologize. There's
Yeah.
no, don't gaslight them,
Yep.
because you can't change it.
You can't. It's 100% true.
Yeah, you can't change it, and just ask them to forgive you, and so you guys can move on. It's just
But
not worth it.
for me, it's the non-admission of it. Like
Yeah.
ignoring it like it didn't happen. That's
With
the part.
evidence presented.
Yes, that's the part that gets my goat because I'm just like, own up to it. Like, just say what you did. That will make it better.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but at least the admission needs to be there.
I
Like, take
agree.
accountability. You are a grown woman. Take accountability. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
God sees everything. He's
Yes.
always watching. And
Yes.
so when people think that they've gotten away with something, you may have gotten
Mhm.
away temporarily, but trust me,
Temporarily.
karma has everyone's address.
Okay. Yes. And that's the only thing that gives me solace because I
Mm,
know that ultimately they're going to get what's coming to them.
yeah.
Period. And I hate to speak that way, but at the same time, let's keep it real. Like you're not the kind of person I would want to hang out with. You are not the kind of person I would want in my circle just because
Yeah.
you're capable of things that I do not approve of.
Yeah. And if you can do that to your own parent, what can you do to
What can
me?
you do to me? Yeah, right?
You
I'll,
clearly
I'll
have no
piss you off.
boundaries.
You have no boundaries. None. None.
Crazy.
Yes.
Mm.
I know, girl.
So when I hit chapter 5, this is where I had to put the book down. Chapter
Okay.
5 almost took me out
Why?
because so much happened.
I know.
You talked about your early life.
Yeah.
You talked about your twin Dion. You
Yep.
guys were super close.
Hmm.
And then she had this surgery,
Yes.
17 hours.
Yes. And then
Them,
I can tell you this, but she had another surgery when she was 27. When we were 27, it was like 32 hours.
oh my God.
Yes. Like scoliosis is no joke. It is
Yeah.
no joke. No joke. Yeah. But she's a strong lady. I think it really grounded her. It really made her a really responsible individual. Like she just always, like Dion is just, she knows who she is and she knows what she's been through. And she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't ever use excuses because of her back problems or whatever. You would never know. You would never know
Yeah.
that she'd gone through all that because she's just so strong. She's just so like just with it, like she
Resilient.
understands that life is and resilient. Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Absolutely. She really is. Yeah.
I was
She
like,
was a
wow,
strong
that's a
kid.
long time.
I know. She was a strong little girl. She really was. Yeah.
Yeah, but not too long after that, then you were diagnosed with your autoimmune disease. What
Yeah.
can you tell us about that?
So the autoimmune disease I have is called hidradenitis suppurativa. It is really known in the African American community. And I was seeing all these white doctors who didn't know what to make of this because really and truly, it's just like a boil that forms on soft folds of skin and it turns into something else. It's so painful. You usually have to get them lanced at the either a hospital or a doctor's office, and you're usually awake during the lancing. It's really, really painful. And I joined
Oh
an
my God.
AHS support group because I wanted to see what others were going through at the same time. My cousin had a similar um, ailment, but hers was called something else. I don't know what it's called, but it's in the same family. So it has stricken many people in my family. Like my twin had
Mm-hmm.
one, and then I had about 13 surgeries on my arm, and
Oh wow.
it was really just a horrible experience. But not until I met Dr. Aisha White. Black lady, she was so good. She understood the background of where this autoimmune disease came from because it really affects a lot of black people and some white people too, but the community that suffers the most is the black community.
Oh
So she
wow.
proposed a procedure where she would take out my lymph nodes, take out all of my sweat glands, and she left it open. She didn't close it. She didn't sew it back up. She left it open. And this gaping hole in my armpit was there for like 6 months. And I had to pack it and unpack it every single day. And it was the most painful thing I've ever been through. But
Oh,
luckily,
wow.
since that surgery was in February of 2012, I'm in remission. I haven't had a flare up since.
Thank God.
I
That
know.
sounds
I
so
know.
painful.
She
And
saved
then,
my life. Yeah.
and it just takes the right doctor, the right fit to really just go the next step, to
Go
really
beyond.
just figure
Yeah.
out what this thing is.
Yeah. And of course, at the time, like in the early aughts, it wasn't that well known. But now I see commercials for like Humira and stuff like that. And it
Yes.
helps people who are, HS. And I wish I had that when I was coming up.
I saw it
Yeah.
when I read that in the book. I was like, I think I've seen commercials, so I'm
You
glad
have.
that there's an awareness for it now.
Yeah.
And there seems to be like some kind of a relief for it too. So that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. That to me is like the best thing that ever happened. Because if I ever get another flare up, I know what drug to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's amazing too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It
really
was
important.
definitely eye opening.
But that happened to you right at a point of your life where, body image is important. You're
Yeah.
self-conscious, and
Yeah.
that's the last thing you needed.
Yeah. It's the last thing I needed. But I think it shaped me a lot in terms of who I am as a person. Like, I was embarrassed. I mean, the boil or this big lump underneath your armpit is just disgusting in and of itself. But it would
Mm-hmm.
emanate this odor, like whenever it would pop. Oh
Mm.
my God, it
It's
was
like
just
pus.
yellow pus
Mm.
and blood.
Oh
Disgusting.
my.
I know. You're like, oh my.
I know. I'm like, oh, do not sign me up for that. That does
Okay,
not sound
I'll leave you off the
exciting at
list.
all. Leave me off that list. My goodness. But I mean, even though there's a cure, I don't want to be on it at all.
You don't want it. You
But I'm
don't
so
want
sorry that you went through that because,
it.
like I said, it's a time when women are so self-conscious about their bodies. And of course, you know, in the summertime, we want to have our arms out.
Yep. Couldn't do that.
It kind of limited you to what you can wear.
Yes. Yeah. It was annoying. I suffered for years with it. And so many surgeries later, it just never worked out until I met Dr. White. So yeah.
Yeah. Who knew that? Shoot,
Nobody. Not
solving
me.
black problems. We're all about that. Let's solve some black problems because,
Let's do it.
nothing like the phrase the black thing you don't understand. That fits
Yes. Yes.
because there are some things that are genetically for us and
Yeah.
some things that are not. And so you can't treat every race the same.
The
It's
same.
not cookie
No.
cutter.
It's not cookie cutter. And that's one thing that I think is lacking in the medical field. I think that we're just so used to just telling us this is what you have and here's the cure for it. But really, when you have an autoimmune disease, most of the times there's not a cure or a
Hmm.
one size fits all type of solution. And
Right.
that's, I think, the benefit of having diverse people in the medical profession.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Representation counts.
Representation, and this is so timely because of all this DEI stuff that we're talking about, the diversity and inclusion and equity and blah, blah, blah. It's really important, especially in the
It's
medical
really
profession.
important.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, the next part of this chapter that really took me out because I did not expect it. I did not read it in any of the reviews because I am a review person. I did not read it in your bio. I did not read about it in on Amazon when it was talking about what the book was about in the book
Yeah.
description. I did not read it. And so I was surprised that you had an attempt
Mm-hmm.
on your life.
Yes. A
Are we
stage
able to talk
coup.
about it?
We're allowed to talk about it. I mean, it happened.
Okay.
It was a summer that I was going to turn 25. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, my life sucks. I was dead broke. I had a great job, but I just made wrong decisions. I was so young and just stupid. And I just did stupid stuff. And it caught up to me when one day, it was a beautiful Saturday. I'll never forget it. But I said, okay, we're going to do it. And I went to the pharmacy, got a bunch of pills, sleeping pills, and was on the bar of my kitchen counter. And I ripped off a piece of paper. And every time I took a pill, I would mark it off. And then I started taking more and then start marking it off, taking more, taking that. And the bottle, I think, was 100 count. I think I went through about like 60 or so.
Oh my goodness.
50 or so. Yeah, something like that. But my best friend, Pyle, she had a key to my house because we're so close and we still are to this day. But she ended up coming over for, I think we were supposed to meet and I forgot about it. And she ended up coming over to my house like around like 7 or 8 o'clock that night. And she just was like, she called 911. She was like, she saw me on the couch and she saw all the letters that I wrote to my family. And then she saw the tick sheet with the bottle of pills and she called 911. 911 came and took me to the hospital. Luckily, I had one real close by to me. So I think Pyle called my family members, like my sisters and all that stuff. And I was in the ICU or in the ER rather, I was in the ER and I woke up and they were like, okay, you have two options. You can either take this nasty charcoal drink and subsequently throw up everything that you've ingested. Or if you don't want to do that, then we're going to pump your stomach. Yeah. So you pick. And I definitely didn't want them to pump my stomach. So I was like, give me the freaking charcoal. And so I drank it. And
that stomach pumping does not sound like a good time.
It does not sound like a good time. I don't know what that involves, and I don't care to know. So I just drank the charcoal.
It involves a pump, so no.
I know. I waited for it to do its job, and then I started barfing uncontrollably.
Oh, wow.
So after all that happened, they had me hooked up to machines and stuff. I ended up staying in the hospital for 4 or 5 days. They had changed me to the ICU because they were afraid of my kidney and liver function because I did a number on them, apparently, from all the pills that I ingested. But all I know is that my mom came and got me from the ICU because they were ready to discharge me. And I had no socks, no shoes, nothing. And she brings my friend Pyle with her. And she was like, you're not going home. And I said, pardon me? When you come again? Right. And she was like, I'm admitting you to Seton Shoal Creek, this psychiatric facility. And I'm like, I don't want to go. She's like, you don't have a choice. I have power of attorney. You're 24. I was still on her insurance until I was like 26 or something stupid like that. And so she basically did have control. So when they admit you, a peace officer has to take you to the facility. So one of the constables pulled up and she was like, okay, get in. And I'm like, Mom. And she was like, you have to do this, Diandra. You can do this. I can't help you. And my job as a mom is to get you help. If I can't provide it, then someone else will. And you're not going to do this again, not on my watch. So I went to the facility and stayed there for like 2 weeks. It was crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you resent her for doing that?
No, not at all.
Because even though you didn't want to go, subconsciously, you knew it was probably the best course of action. I knew it was
the best course of action. And like my dad was like, do you want me to come get you? I'll come get you. And I'm like, and my mom said, over my dead body, you ain't going to get that child. She's staying right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to let it play out. Maybe he was trying to make up for lost time.
Maybe. Who knows? That's the story of Eddie's life. But
oh my God. Well, your mom and Pyle literally saved your life.
Yes, they did. And I'm forever indebted to Pyle. Forever indebted.
I'm
Yeah.
all about giving a key to an outside person. A
Yes.
girlfriend of mine, I just recently, after I met my husband, got my key back. She'd had it for years when I was a
Um,
single woman. It was just me and the
yeah.
kids, and she'd had that key, and I just recently got that key back from her for my car and my house.
Interesting.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, anything can happen. You have to have people that's willing to just look out for you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah, she
ma'am.
didn't have power of attorney, but she definitely had those keys. So if she
Yeah,
needed to come in, and do a wellness check, like if she didn't hear from me, she was prepared and willing to come in and kick that door in if she needed to. So
exactly.
I love the relationship that you have with Pyle. I really
Yeah.
do, because had she just not called or forgot she even had access to the house.
Yeah. There's a number of things that could have gone awry. I could be dead right now,
Well, we're
but
glad that you're not. I'm glad that you're here.
I'm
I'm glad
glad
that
to
you're here because you live to tell. Because your story is going to save someone. You're going to make someone put their bottle down.
yeah, I hope so.
I'm really trying to hold back my tears right now. I'm
No,
like,
no,
it's not
don't
going to be
cry, 'cause
professional to just weep
if
on the
you do, I'm gonna
podcast.
weep it.
I'm just so happy that it turned out that way for you, because a lot of people it doesn't turn out that way. And I
No, they
think I'm also struggling with it and triggered a little bit because I went through that with a person that's really close to me
I'm
at that
sorry.
same age.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a
I'm
very
s
pivotal age. I mean, for the
Yeah, it
same
is.
reasons. I mean, and then we can go ahead and talk about the bullying of it all as well, because
Yeah,
that kind of leads into a lot of that. And today, that's a problem in schools. There's
it
a lot
is.
of kids that are going down this path of destruction of their body because of bullying. And I know
Mhm.
you had a situation where this chick just wouldn't let up, Melody.
Oh my god, she would not let up, and I don't even know what the issue was. And it doesn't even matter what the issue
Yeah.
was. Just that why would you make someone's life harder than it has to be? Why?
Yeah.
Why can't you be a nice human? Just do
Because some
that.
people just aren't. They suck.
They're just miserable, and I don't understand it. And just to make it your life's work to make someone physically and emotionally uncomfortable, that makes me so mad. Like
Yeah.
I can't fathom it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, she's a non-factor at this point, but
pretty much
more times than not, the bully is having problems at home,
at
and
home or
that's why they
something.
bully.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
there's
internal.
something going on there that someone needed to look into, and the only way they know how to take out their anger for the situation is to go bully someone else.
Yeah,
Somebody's probably bullying them.
yeah, it's not fair. It's a vicious cycle. Oh my god.
Yeah. So like I said, chapter 5 was very dark, so I was more than happy to get into your happiness phase. I dried my tears and I was ready for the happiness
Yes,
because
ma'am.
I just loved the story of you and Ben. I was like, oh, Ben,
My little
we
boo
like
boo.
him. Ben the boo boo, boo boo Ben. He's gonna be like, did you really say that live?
I did, and
Mm,
what?
that part. So, if I read this correctly,
What?
was he the one that was talking to Pyle at the bar?
Yes.
And then
So
you came in and slipped him your business card?
I sure did because
Savage.
Kyle wasn't interested in him. Like, no, she wasn't. She was just talking because she talks to everybody. And
Oh,
she's
Pyle was being social.
and so I was like, okay, she's being social. I'm just being cute. So I'm gonna give him my card. And that's what I did.
Period.
And now we're married. And Kyle likes to throw that in my face. She's like, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have met your husband. And I'm like, girl, bye.
Child, listen, we are all indebted to Pyle. We're gonna have Pyle on the podcast too. we need
Yes.
to know. We need to know what kind of spirits she has within her, because she has definitely been a source in your life.
Yeah, she's a beautiful spirit. I love her to death. She's so nice and so just kind. She's a kind person, you know?
That's great. So,
Yeah.
how supportive was Ben about your suicide attempt?
Oh, see, I didn't know him at that time.
Hmm.
I didn't meet
But you
Ben
told him
till
later on.
I told him. Yeah, he was
Hmm.
very supportive. He was just like, "I'm so sorry that you went through that, sweets. I hate it for you." But I met him subsequently 10 years later, well, 12 years later. I met him, and I think I had matured at that point. So it was right on time meeting him. I was ready to be
Yeah.
in a serious relationship.
Yeah. You were
Yeah.
ready for a lot of things. I mean, you
Girl.
got you got your boo thing. You decided to
Mhm.
go back to school,
Yeah.
Texas State University 2.0.
Hit him up, cat.
Hey,
Yeah, I did a lot.
yeah,
It's amazing. I didn't like get better about myself and be a better person until I hit like 40. I'm not even kidding. So when
yeah,
people say, "Oh my God, you're 45," I'm like, "Girl, I wear this with a
yeah.
as a badge of honor."
Well, first of all, I wouldn't even put you in the 40 range.
Well,
I would
shoot.
still put you in the 20s.
Okay. No,
Listen,
it didn't
I'm
get
going to say it. Black don't crack.
it doesn't. It doesn't. And I really didn't start like getting comfortable with myself until I was like 38. So I mean, I was a late bloomer, like in more ways than
Hmm.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get
You
good
just
until
had so
after
much
40.
going on.
I do. I
Yeah.
love it. I
Yeah,
love
you
it.
had a lot going on. And then you had this lap band surgery.
Yeah. Stupid. I shouldn't do it. No,
But a
it
lot
was
of women go through it though. A lot
I
of
know.
women go through that. You already had the body image issues going on, and then
Mhm.
you decided to do that, and then that failed at some point, and then you
Yeah.
decided to do the sleeve.
Yep.
I, this is why I told you this book was just hitting me because everything you have went through in your life has touched me in my own
Yeah.
life.
Well, I'm
So I
so
was
glad.
really digging this book.
Thank you. Oh my God. That is so sweet. Thank you,
Yeah.
Noreen.
I hated that you went through all those things. I hated all those things for you. I loved Ben. I love Pyle. I love your mom. I love your family. I love your twin. You know, but all the other stuff, no, not so much.
Yeah, I could have kept that, right? I could have kept it. But
Yeah.
no,
The
I
devil
needed to
could have kept that one.
okay, but I
He was
needed
trying
to
to shut you down, and you was like, not today,
no,
Satan.
day, Satan. Mm-mm. Not any day, Satan.
So I
Yeah.
love that you, even though you went through all of that, you took the time because you're in your last chapter of the book. I'm
Yeah.
there. I'm digging it. You're in your healing journey.
Yeah.
Things are going the way you want. You're trying to, get your life together, get this job going, all the
Yep.
things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how was it to really finally be on a journey like where you felt like I'm okay. I'm at a space now where I can probably control what's going on.
Oh my God. Do you not know what a gift that is? Like, I, I can tell you that in my 40s, this has been the time of my life. This has been, even though all this tragic stuff happened during my 40s, I have to say I've come a long way when we're talking about just like growth of me personally, spiritually, financially. I'm just in a much better place than I've ever been in. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, my sister
I'm
just
glad. And it seems
commented.
like you have a. Yeah, she did.
Oh,
Your support is on there. Oh, did he hear us calling Benny Boo Boo?
okay.
I'm like,
You
oh,
are
wait a
so
minute. He might have heard that. Sorry, Ben. Nice to meet you.
nice to see you, Ben.
My husband is my songbird.
Oh, that's beautiful. How
He
long have you
wooed
been
me
married?
over with singing. You can never go wrong with a serenade, let me tell
I
you.
know. Isn't that the truth? I love a person who can sing. Oh, love that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, that chapter, the last chapter, the present, everything that you got going on now, that just really, I needed that. I needed that. We talked
Good.
offline about, my own personal journey
Yes.
with my own grief and loss of my mother. And it's only been 9 months. And so
Oh,
um, I needed that. I needed that for
I'm
my healing.
yeah, and I'm sorry
It
about
was
your mom.
everything.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank
It was everything. I mean, let me make my heart. Where am I? There we go.
right here. There you go. I'm
I
glad
just
she liked
loved it.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
because it was the perfect ending to the storm that was your life.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you weathered it with grace. And you're fabulous
I
today.
that.
And well, you were always fabulous. Let me just correct myself.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
you don't look like your struggles. You know what people say that? You don't look
Yeah,
like what you've been through. And I
and I'm
just love
glad
that for
for that.
you.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
just love that for you because that's
'Cause I
important.
it
And
is.
I hope that young ladies that are going to be watching this knows that, listen, you can be fabulous and still have all that in your history.
Yes, ma'am.
This is
It
why we
doesn't
don't compete. Yeah, this is why we don't compete with each other. This is why we don't put women down. You just don't know where they are.
yes.
This is a
In their
sisterhood. We
journey.
have to lift each other up. Yep.
Yep. Amen. Amen.
So as we close, as I said before, this book was well written. I was
Thank you.
triggered, but I got through it. I was. I loved everything. I loved your relationship with your aunt. I mean, the book touched on grief and loss, mental health and wellness, body image struggles, bullying, health scares, self love, not giving up on your passion. And you
Yeah.
always had a job, girl.
I know, isn't that stupid? Like, I mean,
I
it's a
was
running joke in my family. It's a running joke. Diandra can find a job now. She can't do nothing else. She can find a job.
if I can do one thing, at least let it be make some money.
Okay.
Let's get this paper, girl. But you are
Get
an
it.
inspiration, and I'm so glad that we met. How
Me
did you
too.
even find me? How did your publicist find me?
I don't know. I didn't even ask her. I was just like, do what you do. And she was like, okay. And the next thing I know, I'm getting an email from her about you. And I was like, oh, okay. She
Oh,
sounds
wow.
cool.
Stars
Yeah.
aligned. Thank you. Stars aligned. I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am.
because
Ma'am.
we were supposed to talk a day before, and I was
Yes.
like, after I saw the review on your book and the description, I was like, oh, we're gonna need more time.
Yeah. You needed to hold
We're
space.
gonna
And
need more than
I
30
respect
minutes for
that.
sure.
I respect that.
Yeah, because I'm like, I think I'm going to need to mentally prepare myself for the conversation so that I won't be triggered, so that you
Yes.
can tell your story, because we're not going to make it about me.
Oh, but sometimes it
We're
is
not doing
about
that.
you. Oh, girl.
Yeah, I can just relate. I am a testament that I can relate. And I think a lot of people can definitely relate.
I hope so. I
Um,
hope.
you are so inspirational. The journey was amazing. It was hard, but you fought and you won.
Yeah.
You've so you have purpose. You have
Yeah.
purpose, my girl, and God is looking out for you.
Woo,
All
from
your
your
red birds are looking out for you because I just love that they show up. I just
I
love that they
know.
show up at these moments in your life when you need
Yes.
them.
Yes, when you need them. You can't see them all the time because
Yeah.
it wouldn't make it what it is. It's a symbol. So,
I, yep,
yeah. Yeah.
yep. You went through all that, and here you sit, an ebony queen.
Oh, thank you. I do what I can.
So, what advice do you have for women that may tackle or who may tackle any of these areas of the life that you went through?
My advice really isn't advice. It's more of like a mantra. You're here, you're present, and you're accounted for. So make the
Mm-hmm.
most out of every single day. I don't care if you flip burgers at McDonald's for a living. You better flip that burger and put some sauce on it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
make
Be your
yourself
best you.
the
Mm-hmm.
best version of yourself no matter what. And I know it's easier said than done because trust me, I come from a place of I can't do that or I shouldn't do that. But what life has taught me is that there are quiet moments and moments where you have deep introspection. And if you can tap into your spiritual self, like the part of you that
Mhm.
is feeling, that is vulnerable, if you can tap into that and just be your authentic self, there's no limit to what you can do. I had to get
Right.
out of my own way. I had to get out of my way because it wasn't working for me, being in my head so much and not doing anything about all the things that I felt, all the feelings that I felt. So you've got to do some deep introspection, especially if you're going to live in this world, because it's not for the faint at heart. It's not.
It's really not. Well done. I love that advice. I love that. I love that. I'm taking that for myself for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please find it
We
to
all have
yourself.
purpose.
We do. We
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
So where can folks find you on your social handles?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Diandra Ford Wing, all one word. And then my writer page is on Books By. It's books.by/Diandra Ford Wing. And then of course I'm on LinkedIn. Just put my full name in and you'll find me.
Okay. And I will
Yeah.
put all of those in the description so that they can
Okay.
find it.
Okay,
All right,
awesome.
my girl. This was such an awesome interview.
This was so fun, Noreen. Thank you so very much. You've really made my day.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for gracing this SOS stage. The book is
Yes.
inspiring, like I said. It's a true testament to resilience and strength. And listen, we are such a strong people, and
Mhm.
people underestimate that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know how strong you are until you've been through some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. I now know who I
So,
am. There's never any doubt anymore. I know who I
yeah.
am. From
And
just
there's some
from
humility in that.
yeah. Yeah. There is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
Are we okay? We
Yes,
we
we're
we
okay.
went deep and we went heavy.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. I just want to check in with you. All right, folks. Well, you know what? This is another one for the books. This
Yes.
is Mrs. Diandra Wing.
Hi. Thank you guys for all tuning
And the
in.
book is The Red Bird. Be sure to grab that at Barnes and Noble or Amazon. And, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the folks that were interactive. Nice to meet you. I can see that they're your family. And, your sister name is Alencia. My sister's name is
Lindsay,
Valencia.
shut up.
Yeah.
People call her that all the time, but the Y is silent. So it's just Lincia. Yeah.
Lencia.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, my sister's name is Valencia. We call her Val.
Oh,
So,
that's so
yeah, for sure.
cute. We
So,
call her
just
Lincia.
another thing we have in common.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again. And, I just want to say this.
Okay.
We always want to encourage people to just strive higher and reclaim empowerment. So I created that acronym for SHARE. And I
Okay.
want to just let women know it is okay to share your story. It is okay to tell people what has happened to you. And it is okay for you to give yourself grace. And
Yeah.
so you can live your purpose in this life. And your
Amen.
purpose would be to free someone else. Your story can unlock someone else's prison. So I thank you so much. I know you've unlocked some doors today, and we will talk soon.
We will talk soon. Thank you, Noreen.
You're welcome. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.